Yo, what up guys, Prestopriest here with another positioning review. Today we will be looking at two games for Spriest Mage. Positioning wise, this matchup is a nightmare. You need to stay away from the Mage because of CS Nova Poly, but you also need to stay away from the Priest because of Silence and Fear. Meanwhile, we absolutely need to be in line of sight of our DPS at all times, since the enemy team will be spam purging, while also generating a ridiculous amount of debuffs. Anyway, let's see how I did. So this is Ruins. I think we want the Tomb. If we stay inside the starting zone, I think we're just gonna get blizzarded, silenced, and then CC'd. Both teams are charging for the Tomb. I'm trying to purge, but the first priority is to dispel any slows on myself so I can line pulleys. I get Nova, then I dispel myself immediately and create distance from the Priest. I dispel the pet Nova and I line on the CS. Here's my first big mistake. I peek from the backside Tomb to be able to heal Big Creamer. That's bad because now I'm in LOS with the Mage and I have nowhere to go. Instead I should position on top of the Tomb between the two pillars. That way I can still see Big Creamer and I can LOS the Mage. I try to death the poly but the Mage jukes me, and with Big Creamer on 40% HP the only option is to trinket. I see the Priest is coming in, so I fearward the Fear. Next I go for the double Fear, but I do one dispel too many, so I'm in the global cooldown. But that's not the biggest issue. This is simply bad positioning because the Priest still has silence. So what could happen is that I get silence first and then I get polyed while I'm too far away from the pillar. Anyway, we pain suppression and retreat. Here I retreat all the way behind the Tomb because I must cast and I don't want to get blinks yes. We recover and they charge us. I try to keep distance from the Priest, but he's mounted. I should have just feared him, but I was greedy and I wanted a double fear, so I get feared. Now I panic fear and the Priest just dispels the Mage. I line the Mage, but I make the same positioning mistake as before. I peek around the Tomb while I should be positioning on top. Now I'm slowed, and while I manage to death the first poly, I can't escape the second one. Here I position properly again, and we could actually win. The Mage MCSs me, so if I start casting immediately we could recover. Instead I rely on my weaker instants and they get the kill. This is Spriest Mage. I'm trying to stay away from the Mage and the Priest. The Mage Nova CSs me, but he's slow, so I can dispel the Nova. Then we get the improved hamstring, so I spam purge with PI. I could have easily fear warded here. Here my positioning is poor. While playing I really liked it because I'm far from the Mage and I can spam purge the Priest, but it's bad because I'm also out of line of sight of Big Creamer. Here I get blizzard and I do the wrong thing and I try to run around the Tomb instead of jumping on top of it, which I should have done in the first place. So I get CS Nova and Big Creamer trinkets to pummel the pulley. Very good. I get the pain suppression off right before I go into the next silence, and the Priest fears me before the silence runs out, so I'm forced to trinket. What I do here is kinda dumb. All I have to do is jump on top of the Tomb and start spam healing. They are out of silences and the only threat is poly. Instead I message spell and I get polyed before I can reach the pillar. And we lose the game. Okay, so in today's review I look pretty bad, but that's good news because there's a lot of room for me to improve. And it may not look like it, but these games are actually surprisingly close already. Anyway, I need to stop sitting behind the Tomb so much and not do moves like these. Instead I should be on top of the Tomb and use those little pillars to my advantage. Shadow or deathing polys makes you feel pretty good, but it's much better if you don't get polyed in the first place. Anyway, if you would like to see a video in which I absolutely crush Mage Spriest, then consider subscribing because that is bound to happen at some point in the future. Right?